Welcome back, Swifterinos. Today I'm checking out more of the Grammys museum performance. I checked out Blank Space, which is probably my favourite version of that song. I loved the stripped back versions. Just one instrument and a voice. I think it really showcases the brilliance of songs. As I keep saying, I think just songs are primarily melody, aren't they? And everything else is essentially decoration, right? I think there are some exceptions, but in general, that's it. Out of the Woods, I think I've heard already on my 1989 World Tour reaction over on Patreon. I wasn't that taken with the song on the first listen in that version, but I'm not. It was towards the end of the show, I think, so I'm not sure if that was just the fatigue, of sitting in front of the screen for 3 hours. But quite a few of you have said, good things about this version. So yeah, let's see what it's all about.
I'm going to play you a song that I wrote about a relationship that I was in, that the number one feeling I felt in the whole relationship was anxiety.
Oh, no.
Because it felt very fragile. It felt very tentative. And it always felt like, okay, what's the next roadblock? What's the next thing that's gonna deter this? How long do we have before this turns into just an awful mess and we break up? Is it a month? Is it 3 days? And so, I think a lot of...
It's tough, isn't it? I mean, it's wonderful already just to know the context of the songs, and I love hearing a talk about what songs are about, because I guess I kind of have mixed feelings about talking about what songs are about, because I love Noel Gallagher's, take on it is that he famously doesn't like to talk about what his songs are about because he likes people to infuse the songs with their own meaning, I suppose, which I guess, people do anyway, because I think once it's out there, isn't it, because we don't see the world as it is, we see the world as we are, right, through our prism of experience and all that. And I certainly know some of my favourite songs, like having a break from them and listening to them again years later, after accruing some more life experience. They mean different things, I was listening to a Tame Impala tune recently. I'm a Man, is that what it's called? Do you know that one? Because I'm a man, woman, don't always think before I do. So it's about like an apology, isn't it, that song? But I never really connected with that song before. But then, yeah, some more life experiences. I listened to that probably for the first time in 7 or 8 years the other day. And it just hit me in a different way. But Kevin Parker, who wrote it, probably means, something different to him. And perhaps something different throughout his life, I guess. Because I find that with my own songs that I've written years ago, when I sort of tinker around with them or listen back to old demos, I'm like, gosh, I've not always, in the moment, I'm not always aware of what I'm writing about, Sometimes it's just a melody or a word that seems to fit, So that's interesting as well. But Noel's always a comedian with it as well. I saw an interview with him at some point where somebody asked him what his new song was about, and he said it's about 3.5 minutes.
Relationships can be...
Let me take this back a bit. Yeah. So where do you when do you cut and run? If the relationship is feeling like this, can these things be overcome? I guess of course they can. Whether they should or not be, it's complex, isn't it? The human complex is the human complex. The human condition is complex.
So, I think a lot of relationships can be very solid, and that's kind of what you hope for, solid and healthy, but that's not always what you get. And it doesn't mean that it's not special and extraordinary just to have a relationship that's fragile and somehow meaningful in that fragility. So this is a song that I wrote with Jack Antonoff, and it's called Out of the Woods.
Yeah, so you can, whether it's romantic relationships or not, like the brief, short experiences can have a lasting impact, right? Maybe it's the lessons learned. Maybe it's just, joy, exciting experiences. Because we're made of the things we lose, right?
Looking at it now, it all seems so simple. We were lying on your couch. I remember you took a Polaroid of us, then discovered the rest of the world was black and white. But we were in screaming color. And I remember thinking, are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods? Are we in the clear yet? Are we in the clear yet? In the clear yet? Good. Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods? Are we in the clear yet? Are we in the clear yet? In the clear yet? Good.
Lyrically, it's, as I keep saying, man, lyrically, that's my favourite thing about Taylor. But yeah, I already love this like much more than the other version. Melodically, it's beautiful, isn't it? Paints a nice picture. The piano, just the subtleties in the way she's playing, the feeling. Because it's one thing with an instrument, whether that's your voice or an actual instrument, to be technically good, isn't it? To be able to play fast or complex scales or whatever it is, but they're parlor tricks, really, aren't they? I'm only really interested in the feeling, to really like play a song, to play an instrument, or I suppose for it to play you. That's perhaps a better way of looking at it, is that you don't take these songs and perform them, or even take these songs and write them, they take you, and you're taken by them, as you perform them, as you ride them, because ultimately you're just a vessel, I think, as an artist,
Are we in the clear yet? In the clear yet? Good.
That good's like a few, isn't it?
Looking at it now, last December, we were built to fall apart and fall back together. Ooh, your necklace hanging from my neck, the night we couldn't quite forget, when we decided to move the furniture so we could dance, baby, like we stood a chance. 2 paper airplanes flying, and I remember thinking, are we out of the woods yet?
To the emotion in her voice and the way she carries it, man, like it's actually, it's laid bare, isn't it? And I love this. I love it. But 2 paper airplanes flying, that's a what a fantastic image that is, isn't it? Especially when you're young, some people are more switched on than others, but I was very sort of naive, I suppose. Perhaps still am in some ways, but I'm a lot better than I was. But yeah, like there was a severe lack of guidance for me, I suppose, growing up, and that probably led me to be looking for love in all the wrong places, even looking for love, don't always necessarily mean like romantic love, I suppose, just something to I don't know, feel that whatever it is, like it's not really something you can describe, but I guess I looked for that in all the wrong places, whether that been, drink, food, smoking, whatever. And gosh, I don't know. I suppose like just not really understanding like feelings, I mean, or what love is or should be or could be, So a lot of the time, was I think I excitement probably is what, or lust maybe, or I'm not sure, like that fleeting things, I suppose I would pursue, I guess, But that's what I guess hedonism is, right? Isn't it? It's living in the moment, which, gosh, this is interesting to think about, isn't it? Because living in the moment is what, you need to do, I guess, because the past doesn't exist, the future doesn't exist, there's only now. So like in the best sort of, traditions of Eastern religions, would it be, or what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, but we need to live in the moment, but then also living for the moment. That's hedonism, right? It's you're sacrificing the future for the now, right? But I suppose what you should do to live a true and proper life, which is going to lead you into a metaphorical heaven rather than a metaphorical hell, is you need to live. You need to sacrifice the moment for the future, or sacrifice things in the moment for the future. Whether that's exercising when you can't be bothered. Eating the foods that are going to make you feel good. Or going to not just produce longevity, but improve your quality of life, and your quality of thought and your ability to function, so you can achieve the best for yourself and for others, and yeah.
Flying, and I remember thinking, are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods? Are we in the clear yet? Are we in the clear yet? In the clear yet? Good. Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods? Are we in the clear yet? Are we in the clear yet? In the clear yet? Good. In a
That's
hospital
a lovely note there, wasn't it?
You started crying, baby, I did too. When the sun came up, I was looking at you. Remember when we couldn't take the heat? I walked out, I said I'm setting you free, but the monsters turned out to be just trees. When the sun came up, you were looking at me.
Lovely.
You were looking at me. Oh, you were looking at me.
Got to take that back, man. That was what a great bridge, middle eight, whatever you're gonna call it. That was the the emotion in her voice, you know, the lyrically how class that was, but then also the space she left, you know, just by striking those chords and that high note. That's just wonderful, man, wonderful.
Remember when you hit the brakes too soon? 20 stitches in a hospital room. When you started crying, baby, I did too. When the sun came up, I was looking at you. Remember when we couldn't take the heat? I walked out, I said I'm setting you free. But the monsters turned out to be just trees. When the sun came up, you were looking at me. You were looking at me. Oh, you were looking at me. I remember. Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods? Are we in the clear yet? Are we in the clear yet? In the clear yet? Good. Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods?
So that's class as well, isn't it? You know, how the good in the first sort of chorus was like a few, but now it's just like almost like a good, like, thank God this is over, man, because that was draining, you know. That was painful, right?
Oh, you were looking at me. I remember.
Fascinated by that idea, I suppose, of same lyrics, different meaning.
Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods? Are we in the clear yet? Are we in the clear yet? In the clear yet? Good. Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods? Are we in the clear yet? Are we in the clear yet? In the clear yet? Good. Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods? Are we in the clear yet? In the clear yet? In the clear yet? Good. Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods? Are we in the clear yet? Are we in the clear yet? In the clear yet? Good. I remember. I remember. Are we in the clear, in the clear yet? Good.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Ten out of 10, man. 10 out of 10. I think if I was going to introduce, you know, some friends that may be skeptical about Taylor Swift to Taylor Swift, I would probably start maybe with this Grammy performance, you know, Blank Space, this one. Wildest Dreams, is that the other one I haven't got to yet? But I'm going to get to that soon for sure, man. But yeah, 10 out of 10. Thanks for joining me, everybody, and thanks for the continued love and support here and over on Patreon. Hope you have an awesome week. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon.